DraftSociety.com presents a Premier League Draft Fantasy Podcast. Welcome to the Key Pass Collective, your exclusive source for the information, analysis, and advice you need to dominate your fantasy leagues. Come on in. We've been expecting you.
Draft heads, what is going on? Sorry for the technical difficulties, as many of you have guessed it. Joe is out this week, which makes it very difficult to figure out how to pull the curtains and figure this thing out. But we are online. This is the KPC. We are coming out of the international break, so we have a special show for you today. Mostly talking ranks, which we just released a few days ago. So got a few gents with us. Sanjy, Robbie, who's a rarity these days. And Totti is somewhere, but he'll be joining us soon. So how we doing, boys?
Good, mate. Good, mate. How's it going yourself?
Not bad. I forgot we have waivers in one league tomorrow. I was like, had to check because I did them like 10 days ago. Wanted to make sure those players are still wandering the earth.
Yeah, no, it's nice to actually like have a bit of a break and delay. But now I'm like, oh shit, I should have actually thought about this.
Think about the game week.
Yeah, exactly. Too busy doing other things. But yeah, no, it's the little ones just started school this week, so it's been a bit disruptive because they're only doing like half days, like literally 9 to 11:30.
Really?
For this week and a couple of days next week. Yeah, so it's just like anyway. So it's been a bit of a nightmare with work and stuff. But it's all good.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Also, it's really, really cold. It's really cold.
Is it? Yeah, definitely.
It feels like it's gone from spring to winter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a hoodie for God's sake.
Of a month. Yeah. I didn't have time to change or anything like that. I literally just got back from work and just plopped down, try to get some dinner going. But yeah, Fantrax. Footy is coming first right now. So yeah, not too bad otherwise. Looking forward to getting back into the thick of things. Champions League as well is going to add to the drama for us Fantrax managers. So excited for the chaos that's coming our way.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how this new format works out. I still don't get it, how different groups can play each other, and some don't play each other. But we got Atalanta sandwiched between North London Derby and Man City, so that's fun.
Nice. I think from when I was like hearing about it, you basically a lot of the games should matter a bit more now because if you come in the top 8, then you don't have to do like a double-headed qualifier sort of for the next round, so you could reduce or you get a better chance.
Really?
Yeah. And then so it's the top 8 and then the 8 below. Anyway, I didn't look into it fully, but it's like it definitely does reward you for like being sort of the top of your sort of said group or whatever.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Which means there's a bit more onus on playing all your good guys in the early rounds.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wonder how they still have the kind of demotion where if you get near the bottom, you go to Europa League or
don't think so anymore. They don't drop.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
good to know. That was only applicable for Man United anyway. So
hey.
Anywho, all right, let's get back to it. We are talking ranks today, which, to pull the curtain back a little bit, is very difficult to do. There's a lot of subjectivity. There's a lot of things that go into it. A lot of us kind of approach it in different ways, how we do our evaluations. So it's difficult just to tell you how much time and effort we put into these things. But yeah, there's always a difference of opinion, which is great. So definitely wanted to talk a little bit about some of the players where we differ the most. Robbie, I don't know if you can bring up the doc.
I think.
Yeah, everybody knows about the toolkit and everything else. At
Yeah,
this
we don't
point,
need
if you
to-
don't, then what are we doing?
Yeah, I think everyone's listened to Joe's intro a million times by now. So
Yeah,
it's all good.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're going to be going through a new feature which we just launched on the toolkit. So if you log into it now, you'll be able to see it. We're going to go through it, run through the yeah, there you go, Brian. This is obviously just a bit of a screenshot here, so apologies if you can't see it too clearly, but what you're looking at is a very similar thing to what we had at the end of the season in terms of the playoff planning tool. So effectively, it's going to be my ranks, but in a lot more detail in a page on the toolkit, and there'll be filters that you can use for different different strategies, if you will. So at the moment, what it's set here is it's set on all players, and from you can use a game week range, so from game week 4 to 38. So that will be like a literal rest of the season tool. And then you can also change the. Sorry, has it gone off there? Anyway, yeah, and then you can use the. You can filter by either all players, or you can have my team only, or your team plus available, to properly have a look at what the value of your players are in the league. So if you see on the actual table in the bottom there, you'll be able to see the players, whether they're available or not in your league, and then what I projected for their points per start and for their game started for the rest of the season. And then based on the filter that you've done for the amount of game weeks, it will give you a like total WAR, which is what everything's ranked by. I think I don't need to explain WAR by now, but it's basically the expected value for the rest of the season above replacement level. So what you'll actually be able to do on there is if you change the game week ranges from like say 4 to, I don't know, game week 8, you'll find that someone like Odegaard will just suddenly disappear, because obviously with his injury, he won't actually have any like value for that period of game weeks. And then some players who have better fixtures will rise up the ranks and go down. So if you're looking at, especially, I don't know, someone like Genie, who likes to look sort of very near term and does a lot of trading, if you end up looking at that sort of way, maybe 6 game weeks ahead at a time, and that's going to definitely affect the ranks that you have there. So what we've done is basically scaled each game week as a sort of a more basic projection to what DraftLad does every week, and also used a bit of we use a time decay on it, so that you effectively, you're valuing nearer fixtures more than the end ones, because you're less certain about the end ones of the player. So yeah, and that's generally how it's worked out. It's been a lot of work, and DraftLad's done a lot of help with me. So
This is really cool.
Getting that in there. So yeah, hopefully excited for everyone to have a play with it, and let us know what you think.
No, this is awesome. So when does it get updated? So if I'm looking at game weeks 7 through 9 today, are they going to? Is that analysis going to change next week based on whatever happens this weekend, or how does that work?
Yeah, so when I update my ranks, that will then get updated. So I get updated every week, basically.
Okay.
The the fixture difficulty tracker numbers will like adjust every week as well. So there'll be some minor adjustments, but yeah, I don't know how much it will make a difference. But over the course of maybe 5-10 game weeks, it might make more difference as we get more data.
No, this is great. Yeah, kudos to you guys.
Yeah, it's been a labor of love.
More
it's more about
emphasis
getting
on
the data
labor.
right to go into it. So
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Heyo.
Well, Totti just
Hey.
joined while we were going through this.
Yes. I was about to do a screen share as well, but it was unnecessary, as Robbie explained it perfectly without the screen share.
Yeah, and I think I'd add as well is there is an option to have a graph as well. So it's a bit messy if you just have like all the players, but if you just have like your team and then available players added, then you can just see like literally it's like, oh, there's all the dots for my players in terms of the ranks. And it's like, oh, there's a load of players that are above me. It's like visually you can just see it straight away. It's quite easy to see in the table as well because you've got like the how do you say, it's like if the player's available or if it's on your team, and you can see all of that. But yeah, it's a nice sort of visual way of going, oh, hey, there's this guy, I should take a look, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. So you can filter by players on the wire, game weeks, and some other things. So if you're looking to get a streamer that's going to kill it in game week 7, you can find them. Yeah,
and I think that's part of why we wanted to introduce this year, just purely because obviously Draft Lads projections come in every week, but having something that even if it's a more simplistic projection, you can still have that view across, and it because it takes account of the fixtures and everything, then you sort of have a bit of a sort of a midterm view as well, which and then obviously if you want, I don't know, you want to have a look at the playoff period. Like, I mean,
yeah, that's always
how accurate it's going to be, but at this point, but yeah, you never know.
Yeah, some of the comments are bringing up some good ideas using it to set up before the next international break, and obviously, as you mentioned, planning for the playoffs. This is perfect for that. So, awesome,
cool.
Well, let's go to the ranks then. Yeah, as we mentioned, we released our top 150 consensus ranks. There was a lot of changes because obviously we did this last batch prior to this, right before the draft. We now have some game weeks and actual data to inform our decisions. So inherently, there were a lot of changes. So we'll go through some of the folks who rose, some of the folks who lost some value. And yeah, as I mentioned, we had a lot of disagreements, so we'll hash those out. Biggest risers, man, Morgan Rogers, 60 spots. I mean, that one's pretty self-explanatory, I think. Although I think he's might be a bit inflated, and I might be one of the reasons for that. I'm not alleviating any of the responsibility on my part, but yeah, I think there was some hope for him coming into the season because he killed it at the end of last season. Has an eye for goal. Had another half year under his belt under Emery. Great young talent, but didn't know exactly if he was going to start, where he would start, if he would crack on. He obviously has nailed down a starting role in a dangerous position. Had a pretty bad game week last time out, but I think there's still a lot of hope for him. I don't know if you guys have anything to weigh in on Morgan.
Just to clarify, for those on the YouTube, the position on the left-hand side of the name is the new rank number, and then the number in brackets is the number of positions that they've moved.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, mate. No worries.
I just wanted to say to our audio listeners, so Morgan Rogers is currently 59th ranked overall, and he has risen 60 spots, just like Ryan said. So yeah, go ahead, Robbie.
Yeah, no, I was just looking. It was interesting. I didn't include Rogers in the section later, just in terms of disagreements. But you guys were all around just over 50, and I was at like 70 odd. So I think I'm the only one that's sort of a little bit more, how do you say, reserved in terms of my.
Let's hear why.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure about Villa yet. Yeah, and especially with Champions League coming in, and like I'd maybe have him that little bit higher, but then that, I don't know, the game last week, I was just made me hedge that little bit more. I'm like, whoa, okay, let's not get too excited here. And I think
tough schedule though, opening up. Now it softens a bit. This is kind of like this is the trial period where it's like, all right, now you can go improve it. You had a great game against Arsenal, passed the eye test, got 10 ghosts, but now let's see if you can actually deliver some monsters.
Yeah, that's it. He definitely, like, how do you say, looks good, and he didn't ghost well last year, so I'm a bit wary that is a thing yet as well. Anyway, but I can see the appeal, definitely. Yeah.
Is his role in the team not different this season though, compared to last season? And also, I don't know if this played a factor in your ranks, Ryan, like the fact that he's a midfielder. And again, we've been beating the drum about, midfielders being rare commodity, etc. So
yeah, no, that's a fair point. Finding a mid 3 with upside is incredibly difficult this season, and Rodgers is, I think, one of the few that really fits the bill. So that's definitely a fair point. He's playing a bit more central, I would say, and I think last season he was a bit more on that like left wing ish spot. So the initial returns were good, ghost point wise. I think he had like 9.5, and then, like I said, 10 against Arsenal in a tough game. It was only the last week that was really a nothing burger, but hopefully it was an aberration.
So is he, like, based on the like heat maps, he's actually playing like a right-sided 10 or something like that?
like a second striker, I want
Yeah,
to say.
like a second striker or a deep lying 9, or I don't know how you want to define it, or an inside forward coming in from the right. But it's definitely
just behind Watkins and like to the left of Bailey.
that right half space kind of. So probably his positioning that is giving him this extra value, as opposed to what we saw last season, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully it results in some goals. I mean, I know, just having watched a couple of his performances, he was very unlucky to not get an assist in the Arsenal game. I mean, Watkins completely fluffed his lines, and then I think Watkins fluffed another one in one of the other games. So I think his scores have been artificially kind of deflated based off Watkins not being able to put the ball in the net. So I think his fortunes will probably rise or fall with Watkins's form.
Yeah, I was just looking. He's got like 0.9 XA. So
exactly.
Do you think there's any chance that he continues in the team into the Champions League and Barkley kind of eats into his Premier League minutes?
Could. I mean, I think everybody's bar probably, actually not even Watkins anymore, because Duran has come in to good effect. So I think everybody's kind of.
I've read today that there were 40 offers for Duran.
I saw.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Apparently he thinks he's better than Watkins as well. Some real Nicholas Bentner energy coming out from him.
except he can't back it up like Lord Bentner.
In his own mind.
I mean, it bodes well that to start the season, he's played 90 minutes in all 3 games as well. And I think some Villa fans were saying that he got a goal or 2 goals or something like that in the international break. But chances are he's probably playing at a level that is too easy for him as well. I don't know. I think he's going to come good, though. I'd be quite excited if I was an owner.
Yeah,
I'd be trying to trade out high.
I made an offer that I'm kind of embarrassed to even relay. That was essentially dragged through the mud by the group chat in this absurd league. I think it was Robbo for Rodgers and maybe Frankie Muniz or somebody of that ilk.
I think Muniz is a buy low.
Yeah, but I mean, talking Robbo for 2 sub 5-6 rounders. And then Rodgers dropped that 2.5 spot. So, I think
it was rejected.
Inflated.
The offer was rejected.
Yeah, and widely panned. I thought it was very fair.
Yeah, it seems fair.
I think it's a decent offer, to be honest.
The only reason I wanted to get rid of him is because I have a lot of good defenders and I wanted to diversify. But yeah, it's just to say that Rodgers is probably a little inflated. I think, even though I'm high on him, but I think folks are probably too high.
It's probably groupthink kind of like we are looking in behind the numbers and we are feeling that there is something there, but people are taking our ranks and our optimism regarding Rodgers like full on value or even more. So like if you have yourself what do you call those laptops that they have in the movies that have never touched the internet, like if you have one of those leagues that has never seen like Draft Society or Twitter or anything like that, then you can have proper good value for Rodgers.
I feel like those sort of leagues do drafts with paper and pen and stick it on a blackboard as well, which is still an ultimate goal, I think.
That sounds fun.
We did that last season. We did that in my home league last season on a blackboard, and everyone walked up and wrote their pick on the blackboard.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Pressure of like walking up and getting
absolutely
there's
heckled.
no anonymity.
Yeah.
There's no escaping your pick.
So,
I'm trying to think like some of these other ones are worth mentioning. I mean, I'll just quickly kind of go through them and give a very quick 2 cents, and you guys can jump in on any of them if you feel necessary. Savio, I think, warranted. Didn't think he was going to get a start within the first few weeks. He's looked really good. He's ghosted very well. So I'm not surprised to see him move up. He's still difficult to roster, I think, especially if you don't have a city stack. And then Konate seems to have won, at least temporarily, the battle with Kwanzaa.
On Savio, sorry, just one word. I think the fact that he's risen 55, I think you can separate the 72nd rank and 55. Like 72nd is probably fair, but the fact that he's risen 55 is a bit of an overreaction and maybe taking like past performance in a sense this 3 game weeks too much into account. Like I don't think he'll be a long-term feature of the City 11 once everyone's healthy, but it'll still be like one of those high upside City wingers that you wanna play every time he starts, but nothing more. Like
I think
any,
for me,
any rise further than 72nd would be unwarranted.
Yeah, I think for me it's like you pushed up his like projected starts probably too much, as you say, but the points per start, I'm like, I mean, he was ghosting out of his mind, wasn't he? And like he looked great. So I guess once you get Foden back and everything, it's all and Rodri, it all just starts to become a bit sort of where the start's coming from. So I get your point.
And Grealish is back as well, and he looked decent, scored against Ireland as well. So it just it's back to peak Pep roulette. Like for a few seasons, like last 2 seasons maybe, with all the injuries and all the sale of Mahrez and sale of Gundogan and no new players coming in, we were kind of on the brink of saying Pep roulette is no more. But now I think it's fully back on, and like as we usually say, all the wingers have like an 8 game spell that will get them like hyper excited about them, and then they'll fall back down.
Yeah, I think he's a tough one because anyone who had punted him in the draft, they're not letting go of him for peanuts, are they? So it's just sort of It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, like based on
Like,
these 3 games, the fact that we only have him 72nd is madness. Like if he were doing the same thing on the first 3 games and he were in any other team, he'd be like top 20. But still, he's barely top 100 just because it's Sydney.
Yeah, players like him are, I think, one of the hardest parts about doing the ranks. It's like, how do you value somebody who balls out when he starts but won't start that much, and that you can really only roster if you have a stack of players from that same team. Same with Neto and a lot of Chelsea assets, frankly. Nowadays.
With these guys, it always comes down to how you actually play. Like we have 4 of us on this pod, and all 4 of us have a slightly different way we play the game. We set up our rosters, we set up our teams, and you guys, I heard in the taxi that you talked about pre going live about which league you go in first when you see the lineups and stuff like that, and like you might have, like, I know a lot of our listeners and a lot of our subscribers are like dads, and we set up the dads league last season, and we have this whole sort of 30 mid-30s and older generation of players who kind of can't be too reactive in during the weekend and stuff like that. But you would set up your team to accommodate for that, ideally. Whereas we have some subscribers and some of our analysts as well who are still young and in the wind, so to say, and are able to play the game so that they can essentially rotate like 6 players on each roster or even more. And those are the teams where you can get the most value of these city assets, where you can just stream half of your team every game week and just keep these extreme high upside players for weeks on end, because you have so many streaming spots and you have so many players that you can just pick up when lineups come out.
Yeah. Since we have 2 Liverpool fans here, I'm curious about Konate. I mean, given his injury history and the fact that Kwanzaa's perpetually knocking at the door and started the first game, I mean, how confident are you that Konate keeps this spot at least until the next international break?
Reasonably, to be honest. I think I've still only got him at 60% starts, but it's what it is. I think from a lot of what I've read as well, Slot's had quite a good history in terms of injury prevention at his club. So I don't know whether that means more rotation or more subs, or maybe we see Kwanzaa in Champions League. It's difficult to know at this point because we don't know what he's going to do, right? But he's been playing so well, and he's obviously just come in and gone. I'm still high on him just purely because the way that we're playing now is we're not like I would just say we're not getting counter attacked to fuck, because it's a much more easy watch, and like he's still getting. I mean, Totti, you know what I'm talking about.
Much
like
easier.
I know we've not had difficult
Sucks for the
games.
neutral.
Yeah. They were fun games.
No 4-3s this season.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see, but he certainly looks the part, and as long as he stays fit, it's his to lose, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like Slot's first press conference after the first game highlighted it's the duels, and that's what Konate's strength has always been. Winning the duels, even not just the aerial ones, on the ground as well. He's fast, he's agile,
so much recovery pace,
and so I think
covering for
Trent.
He's a bully.
yeah, barring injury, which is always there with Konate, I think it's his spot to lose, and as we've seen, and we'll come to this, I think, in the next slide regarding Darwin Núñez. There's not much rotation. Obviously, it will start up once Champions
Early days,
League. Yeah. But I think establishing like a preferred starting 11 and establishing a way to play has definitely helped Slot in these first couple of months. So I think he's definitely praying for no Konate injury. Also, I wouldn't rule out Joe Gomez at CB either. So it's
seen hide or hair of him.
Yeah, he's been. I think there was some discussion of him maybe moving. This,
should have been loaned out or something
this summer, but nothing came of it. And yeah, Kwanzaa is still a great talent, and I think he won Player of the Match in the first game of the under-21s, England under-21s in the international break. So he's still, as you said, Ryan, knocking on the door. But I think he's a slightly different kind of player to what Slot wants from that right centre back position. So yeah, it's definitely Konate's spot to lose right now.
Yeah. There's a comment about Gravenberch as well in the chat, but I mean the problem is his ceiling's going to be around about 8, so that's why he's not in it and not close to it. But you did see in the United game he was like maybe a bit more advanced than McAllister at times, but so I think that will switch a little bit. But yeah, the sort of DMs in a double pivot just not quite going to cut it really.
Yeah. Sanjy, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're probably high on Fatawu. He seems like a
Sanjy player.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm gonna take that leap of faith. So sell me on him.
Most tackles for the season. What do you want?
Most tackles.
I believe so.
Most tackles, really.
Yeah, I think when we did data dump, he's either one or two.
McAllister numbers, is it?
No. That's different league. I've made sure and colored that profile picture so I don't make that mistake again. I probably still. Yeah, I don't know. My only concern is the coach. Yeah, I'm not worried about.
He's fallen off a bit since that initial monster.
Yeah, but I the thing is I just don't trust Steve Cooper, and I think he's gonna ruin all Pantrax assets from Leicester for everyone until they make a change, because I don't understand why he's been benching Mavididi when he was such a pivotal. He played a pivotal role in them coming up as well. I mean, even like you see the articles that we did around the Leicester assets and stuff. Yeah, it's honestly baffling what he's doing with that team. I don't know. For now, the ghost points are good. Like we were, I think we were all kind of agreeing that, if you get him as your forward 3, it's good value. I think he's a dependable forward 3 in that sense. I'm not looking anything higher than that. But yeah, the ghost points, it's promising, right? We saw what he can do with the attacking return in that first game week versus Spurs as well. So I mean, I'm still higher. I still own everywhere, all the leagues that I have him. I'm not planning to trade him out anytime soon. I'm just gonna enjoy the ride for now.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering which of these guys are sell highs. I mean, I thought that Fatawu after the first week was probably a sell high, just because the hope and anticipation after that was through the roof.
Yes, Sanjay, what was that trade that Ryan did with Kieran? It was
that was some wild trade that he sent me. I'll try to find it. I'll try to find it in the meantime.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like Foden and for
3 players that involved Fatawu. Yeah, it was something mental. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, certainly that was the time to do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate definitely. I wouldn't argue against selling him high. Because I don't think you're going to be expecting plus 20 games too often from him. But I mean, from this list, I would say one that screams to me immediately as a sell high is Noni.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if
The
you're
time
still
was
willing,
after the hat trick. Let's be,
yeah,
let's be real.
like it's only going to get worse in terms of the rotation, and we all know the shit show that Chelsea is this season in terms of the number of players that they have. So that to me would be the first one. I think correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan. Semenyo would probably be one on your list, right?
Yeah. I just
I included Semenyo specifically for Ryan to do his bit.
I have nothing against the guys. I mean, nothing personal, Antoine. No, I just when I saw our rankings come out, I saw that I was a fair amount lower than everybody else. So in the group chat, I was like, "What's the hype about Semenyo?" And apparently, everybody else has him on a roster. So there's a bit of that. But no, it's just he's gotten attacking returns in I think all of the games so far, all 3 games. And the ghosts haven't been great. And I just don't think that's really sustainable in terms of the attacking return. So I think he's a bit too high for my liking. I think he's definitely a sell high because I think he has like a cult kind of following in the community as well.
Yeah, but
once Genie posted that compilation, was it? I can't remember the music under it.
Oh no, I said
Run
that.
DMC or some iconic track under it. So I was like, oh, sold on it.
Yeah, no, I sent that to the group. I think someone had sent it to me, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just getting hyped now. But it's too late for my drafts. But yeah. But I mean, he's like, I was just looking at the numbers there. He's 1.4 xG, 1.7 xa, like, yeah, the numbers are there for him to get those returns. So, yeah.
What do you all think of Minte? Because I think everyone was like he was fast rising as we got closer to drafts. Like I was looking to get him in, and I was only able to get him in one league, and in every other league he went like maybe 10, 15 spots ahead of where I had him. And he's still rising. And I think it's like I included him in this list to be able to talk about Brighton in general, because they haven't been rotating as much as obviously before under Potter and De Zerbi.
Yeah.
They
don't have Europe, so they don't have really.
But they have like really good options.
But if it ain't broke,
chomping at the bits. Like Adingra, I think has 2 returns off the bench in Minte's role, and then we have the 2 non-injured new signings in Gruda and Cardiolu. And also there's potentially like Rutter has come in for a lot of money as well after a very good season in the championship with Leeds. So there's bound to be somebody losing minutes other than Welbeck and Milner, who we all have like a best before date on them. But other, like, we're still ranking everyone else pretty high. I'm a bit anxious about Brighton assets who have started the first 3. Maybe they're a bit on the sell high.
I would wait. If I had Minty right now, and I do in one league, I would wait at least until Ipswich, hope for a haul, and then depending on what I could get, I wouldn't be opposed to selling high for sure.
Yeah. So
I'm probably to blame for Calafiori.
I have no idea how he's
despite not having one single start.
no minutes. No usable
and
minutes.
an injury over the international break to boot. So he's got everything going for him. No, I think he's all of his cameos have been amazing eye test wise, and I think it's only a matter of time before he knocks down that left back spot. It's a slower burn than I think a lot of people are willing to tolerate, and that's totally fair. But I think his time's coming, and I think he gets a start if he's fit. This
Is he a
weekend.
buy low? Is he a buy low?
I think so. I mean, I have him in every league, so I don't know what the market is for him. Because I'm holding.
I think he's
obviously.
close to, like, with the international break injury and with Spurs and City, the next two. I think he's close to being droppable. For those who are not diehard Arsenal, like red mist guys.
No, I think he was in a few leagues because I remember telling a few people to pick him up.
He's dropped in my DPL league, and I picked him up for like $1 or something. So
I think that's a good move because after Spuds, which is a good matchup, and City, I think it's Leicester and Southampton. So those are going to be awesome.
Get him in, But to be honest, Timber has been doing well, and
he's been okay.
If Calafiori hadn't come in, we would have assumed it's Timber's spot to lose, wouldn't we? Like he's come in to challenge, and he got injured for the whole season. But even though he was injured for the whole season, nobody other than Kiwi for that lovely run, nobody did anything to dissuade Arteta from having Timber as the number one left back.
Other than buying Calafiori.
Other than buying Calafiori, but
there'll be enough games to go around, and he's still skittish about Timber's injury. I mean, he went down. He came off early at the last game, and people were freaking out. I think Calafiori his time will come, and there's still plenty of games for Timber. I mean, he's so versatile; he could play. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he came in and played midfield this weekend. He's also going to give White a break at right back, which is more of his, I think, natural position.
Fun fact: he started in the international break
with his twin.
In the Dutch national team.
I'd love to snap him up too. He's a
double Timber. The double Timber.
Timbers.
Nice.
Before, just to conclude that slide, I found the trade. So it was basically Foden for Martinelli, Fatau, and Paqueta. So 3-4.
I'd take Foden.
That is filth. Whoever doesn't take Foden in that deal is not very smart.
I'll let Ryan know.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, he won your league last year, didn't he? Yeah.
Won the whole community, mate.
Well, I mean, that's just that's just more relevant to the difficulty of your league rather than anything else. But and luck.
Burn.
All right. Well, other side of the coin, some fallers. I feel like we've talked Somerville to death. In the chat. I mean, it's pretty simple. He just hasn't gotten the minutes. West Ham looked bad anyway, so it's unfortunate. What are you guys doing with him?
I'm still keeping him. I have him in 2 leagues, and I'm hoping this international break has helped him establish himself. But unfortunately, our optimism based on Sevilla numbers and potential attacking prowess has been unfounded. And it's more of Wolves Lopetegui rather than Sevilla Lopetegui. Which is
early days. I want to see. I know it's very shades of the shit that I watched at Molyneux under him, but they have slightly more talent at West Ham. But I'm willing to give him at least a few more games. But yeah, Kamada was somebody I wasn't high on going into the drafts. Thankfully, was proven right there. Fast Eddie's coming in to clean house, so his days are gone. Not that he was doing well, even when he was starting.
He wasn't doing. It wasn't that bad.
I mean, what was he drafted? 7th round?
Kamada?
Yeah, Kamada.
Yeah, I mean
7th, 8th.
I mean, given what else you could get there, I mean,
I think the problem is people, and I think this is affecting Munoz as well. But the people forget how good Elise was, and he just isn't that. Like, and I don't think he's necessarily suited to be in that like 2 behind the striker, necessarily. So yeah, it's just
and in general, like
not a square peg in a round hole, but
yeah, but like I think he's more of a victim of Palace being found out a bit. Like everyone was so high on all Palace assets, and they started the season with 1 point out of 3 games. And I think once they get into a rhythm, which I'm pretty confident they will do, I think Kamada will be a decent like mid 3, 4. Nothing major. Like I think 7th round was a bit too high, but not like overly high. But I think dropping him 50 odd or 40 something is a bit of an overreaction. So he's
just not scoring points though. Like if he's not scoring above 8 points,
he's scoring 5.5.
What value does he have?
Like, 5 every game.
5 every game. Like there's nothing there. Yeah, I wouldn't blame anyone who dropped him. I'd still wait on how he scores once Palace do well. Yeah. That's my only.
Yeah, I think once they get the centre backs in and like
and Eddie
and yeah, and I think having Decore back as well if he's actually back from this injury at some point, but him with Wharton. But yeah, I don't know. They're not quite the same team, are they? So
I was a bit like I wanted to include Enzo here because I think he's all boxed into like the normal DM kind of role, but I think we originally thought that he would start in a kind of double pivot with all those attacking talents, whoever you want to think of, KDH and Kunku, whoever in the 10 ahead. But he started in the attacking midfielder, quote unquote, role all 3 games, hasn't he?
Has he? I think it was just that first game against City because they played like the 3 of them in midfield, right? Sanjay,
yeah, I'm pretty sure the most recent one against Palace, he would have played double pivot with Caicedo. I think him playing the attacking role against City was more so to allow Lavia to play next to Caicedo, and I think it was also fit bodies, that sort of stuff. I don't think him playing that cam role, that attacking midfield role, was ever going to be a permanent solution, and God, I hope not, because he looked fucking terrible there. And I mean, once he played deeper, he was able to play his more natural game sort of stuff. So I think the 1.5 is probably a more realistic like outlook of what sort of asset he is going to be, I think, rest of season. Sure, if he gets like, the odd game in the attacking role, maybe there's a punt there, but that's like a huge gamble in my opinion that I'm not willing to take.
Yeah, I was surprised that his numbers from last year was around like 9 points per start or something. I don't think he's going to get anywhere close to that. It's like,
I mean, he ghosted well against Wolves, and I've seen him on some corners.
That's what,
like, but 8.75 in a 6-2 win. 6-2, like
yeah, without any attacking returns. I mean, that's still good.
Yeah, I think that's a decent one, and I've come around to thinking that this midfield 3 of Caicedo, Lavia and Enzo is going to be the first choice, midfield 3.
Now Palmer's playing at 10, then
Yeah,
where's he going to fit in?
There's still way too many unknowns, I think, for us to try and figure out what the hell Maresca is gonna do with this team moving forward. I almost like it felt like Lavia's injury came like a blessing because of how bad Enzo looked further up on the pitch. But I think you need to give Chelsea some time, honestly.
It's only been 3 years, like another 3, and they'll figure it out.
We'll fire everyone, get a whole new 120 players, and
they'll be back to Graham Potter in no time.
Never a dull moment with us. So
yeah,
nice.
Okay.
Moving along here. So Pinnock, I mean, I think that one's pretty obvious, but sad. Nathan Collins has just been vulturing all of his ghost points. I think he's a spent force at this point, unfortunately.
You would drop him?
I wouldn't drop him, but if I had to win a game week, I would.
Like it's City this weekend, so people might be close to considering dropping him if he.
Yeah, I'd think about it.
Yeah, so like people will have drafted him as a start all games asset.
Set and forget, yeah.
Set and forget, and
7th round as well, probably.
You don't think he has trade value at all?
He might. Sure. Obviously, I'd test the waters before dropping him outright, but it's not looking good, Brev.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kunku. I mean, I had kind of relatively high hopes for Kunku until they bought Neto and a few with the others, but and the fucking balloon celebration. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I think you have to hold, but
I mean, it's so tough to say. But at this point, would he have not made a better decision staying in Leipzig 2 seasons ago?
I have an explanation for the balloon, Ryan.
Oh, thank you. Freaking God. What is it?
So apparently it's for his son who loves balloons. So
God. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I thought it was like an AI thing, like that it was like a Chelsea social media admin just like superimposed the balloon. But no, apparently he's actually blowing balloons.
He is actually blowing balloons,
yeah.
Where?
Don't ask that question. No.
Where does it keep him?
You know that what was her name? The short track runner, American, who had the long nails.
Oh God.
I don't remember her name. Do you know the you know what they say? Why she
is
had
it
the long...
Sha'Carri Richardson?
No, like from 15 years ago.
Back in the day.
Yeah, you know why they say
that Divas?
That she had the long nails.
Was it Gail Divas?
No. It was the double named as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Gavin's saying Flojo. Florence.
Florence Griffiths joined them.
Yeah. That's her. So essentially what they said, and this is where the balloon thing comes in, that they had, and some of the other short distance runners had them as well. They had the long nails because supposedly when they went to give a urine sample, they were able to pop pre-installed balloon with non sort of water certified urine in them. They were about to pop the balloon with the nails, so the urine that came out was A-OK and good to go.
Are you accusing Flojo?
I'm not accusing. I'm just saying this was the unofficial.
Is this a Hungarian investigative journalist?
Yeah,
Jose?
Yeah. I'm not sure Hungarians mentioned in conversation is a good thing as of right now.
Trump is not going to be happy.
Yeah, I know. He name dropped one of ours yesterday, didn't he?
He did. Tarkowski. I think, are we all in agreement that he annoyingly does this at the beginning of every season, and you should probably stay put?
Yeah, wait and see.
He did the
Buy
same
low
last
if you
season,
can.
right?
Buy low, yeah. That's what I would
Yeah.
say. Buy low.
Yeah.
'Cause
There's
what-
I can't tell you how many people have had to say don't drop him. Like it's like
Yeah.
oh
The
that
ghost-
you
the
know
ghosts
people
are
did
still
it
there.
people did it last year and it worked well for them, didn't it? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
give him a chance, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
It's been annoying though. I will say.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I've been in a couple of leagues. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Declan Rice, my God.
I was a bit wary about him this year.
Yeah, as was I. I only allowed myself to get him in one league for Homer reasons, but yeah, I think he'll still be fine. I mean, it'll come down to what ultimately Arteta does with Marino, if and when he ever gets fit. And yeah, if Rice, I want to see what Rice can do. Once he's back and once we have a decent schedule. I mean, he's still on corners. He's still heavily involved. So yeah, I'm not out on him yet.
Is
Yeah,
there
not much has changed regarding his role in the first three.
Not yet.
Like I think Marino is a bigger, like you said, Marino is a bigger question mark around his rest of season value than the first three games, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like first three games has been just he's been unlucky.
Yeah, and
He's had the opportunities. He has the near misses by teammates. He's had the set pieces. So nothing's changed regarding his role in the team.
Yeah, his ghosts might actually get better if Marino comes into the LCM role, because he'll pick up a bit more defensive stats and he'll still have the set pieces. So yeah, I'm not confident enough to buy low, but I'm definitely kind of holding right now.
Is there any chance he gets a bump up in value because Odegaard is probably going to be missing for a few game weeks? Like, is there any chance, you think, tactically speaking?
No, I don't think it helps him, really. I mean, he's not going to slide into that role.
Yeah, they'll shut up shop a bit more even. You'd think they'd be more
especially
cautious.
the game against Spurs.
Yeah, they'd be more cautious without that out and out number 10 sort of dictating play. I think they'll probably go back to, like, I wouldn't say route one football, but they'll still go back to the basics rather than letting Odegaard do his thing. It's going to be more tactically rigid, I think, while Odegaard is out.
Yeah, and again, after City, it's Southampton and Leicester. I think both at home, I want to say. So poor Odegaard missing out on those monsters. I mean, brutal. But
yeah, poor Odegaard rosters.
Yeah,
such is life. Yeah. All right, moving on. What do we got?
What happened there?
Oh my word, Yuri.
Oh, God's sake.
44th.
Yeah, sorry about
144.
How is this tab? God, like, sorry, I made this chart right, and it's just like messed up. Anyway.
Oh, it's shifted him over a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, there's no way Ryan ranked him 44th.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Yeah, well, that's actually me, isn't it? But yeah, you can infer the values, right? And I even color coded it as well. Like, anyway.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah,
I'm gonna call out the outlier and some of these. So,
yes.
So I think I'm the most high on Estupinian. first off. So
Yeah, you and me.
yeah, that's tag team. This one, Totti. I mean, the case speaks for itself. They don't have Europe. He's back fit. Dropped 6 ghosts and a 17-minute cameo last time out. I mean, he was on set pieces when he came on. Got a rave review from his new manager, which is I think one of the things that was, along with his injury, that was causing some concern. Didn't know if Hertzler rated him, and we know what he can do. And the Brighton defense seems a bit more solid at the back. So what's not to like other than his injury history?
I think injury history, but also, I mean, Ferdy could easily play at left back, right? I mean, I know he would probably play right back if Estupiñán was back. But,
yeah, I don't know why he would. I mean, it's not. I mean, I have more confidence in Estupiñán keeping Guardiola out than Veltman. Although he can get someone sent off, obviously.
Yeah, I think I agree with Ryan. I think he will be back starting, and that is what I referred to with Minte. I think there will be some changes in the Brighton 11 coming out of this international break, and Estupiñán will be one of them. And I think that Guardiola Estupiñán wing back pairing will be money.
All right, Sanjay, you're gonna have to face some music with this Tielemans pick. What's going on?
I didn't realize I had him at 44th. I had to look back at the ranks just now. I was like, wow, goddamn. Well, I think what the second highest was like 74, something like that. Yeah, I think I might have gone really, really high on him. Shades of maybe hoping on the a possible Douglas Luiz reincarnation, taking corners. Part of a really good attacking Villa team. I mean, the threat of Amadou Onana as well on set pieces. He's a really big guy. I didn't realize how massive he is on set pieces. So, yeah, I mean, again, with midfielders and whatnot, yeah, it was just, I guess I was quite high on him when I did my ranks. Maybe 44 is a bit too high looking back at it now. I'd probably go maybe 66 or something like that. But I think I'd still be on the higher end compared to the other guys.
So you have Nathan Collins at 60 if the tabulation of this wonderful chart is...
Yeah. So that's Sanjay and Ryan who have him at 60.
Yeah, correct. Would you rather Yuri Tielemans or Nathan Collins at this point? And we are at least 4 days removed from ranks, so you can freely change your mind on Yuri.
It's only because he's a midfielder, man. That's why. But I think I'd probably go Collins. Yeah.
Wait, you have Harvey Barnes at 56.
Have I?
That is what.
I mean, you're pretty high on him too, mate. 78
is not 56 though.
It's still way too high, to be fair.
Well, it's probably still way too high. Go ahead, Totti.
My 78 is based on Gordon and Barnes being the official like first best 11 starting 11.
Left and right and left, whatever.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I heard or read something the other day. It's like they used the exact same tactics against Spurs at home last year, where they had Gordon and Barnes like on the left and right. So I'm not entirely sure if that continues, but wait to see, I guess.
I mean, we talk about boulders. There's Barnes has a million boulders, as Totti would say. I mean, weighing him down, the weight of the world on his shoulders, really. His little frame,
his name.
That's the only thing literally he has going for him, a strong Christian name.
Yeah.
What else we got? Adama's. I mean,
yeah, I just felt that was way too hyped. They've had a decent schedule, and his injury record is so bad. So yeah, I couldn't couldn't put myself there where I went over, say, 50% starts.
I felt a bit of that too when I was putting him in, but then when I was ranking him kind of amongst his peers, kind of comparatively, I was like, I wouldn't want a lot of these guys over him, and then I just like kept moving him up as a result. So
yeah, it came down the same as Ryan. For me, it came down to like, where would I draft him rather than rest of the season value, and just like Ryan said, I'd draft him ahead of a bunch of guys between like 30 and 50, where you have him, Robbie. It's just the upside. It's just the fun. It's just the unpredictability. It's the X factor that has him so high for me. I realize that 28 is like nosebleeds, dizzying heights. But yeah, like on his day or that one season he had at Wolves where he actually had like I think 20 something starts, he was good for that 28 spot. Or
the thing is, he's not quite getting the same like dribble numbers as he. It's like I think because he's got a couple.
He's getting returns though.
He is, but yeah, and I know he's relatively good for it. I think his expected goal involvement is about 1.6. Yeah, 1.6. So he's, like it's not like it's not necessarily warranted, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just generally a little bit skeptical. But
again, if 1.6 comes out of like 3 huge chances, then it's warranted. But if 1.6 comes from like 160 very bad chances that he sort of scuffs into the penalty area with nobody there, then that's also another sort of different tune. So yeah, I get your skepticism. It's just too difficult not to get excited.
Oh no, I get it. I mean, I had him for a bit that season, and I just remember that game against City was it a hat trick? No,
he had
there was 2 of the same goal. We just like smashed him through right foot, boom.
I think he had a brace and then an assist. I want to say, that was the top of the table clash for me, and I was playing against Raheem Sterling. I had Adama and Doherty, who linked up for the last goal as well, to put me over it. Because Sterling I think got a hat trick or at least a brace, and it was back and forth. I mean, that was epic. Yeah,
and he made fun of the City defense like all the time. Every time he got the ball, he was like, that was peak Adama.
They play him last game of the season. Hoping Adama and Arsenal Academy's got something for me. Not that it'll matter at this point.
So what happened to the Ward Prowse table there?
So Totti, you're low 88, and the rest of us are around 40 to 50.
How is he getting in the team? Like I'd rather have Elliot Anderson than he.
He's been awful. I know. I saw that he got nominated, I think, for Player of the Month. Every game I've watched with him, he's been terrible. And they obviously got him for a reason.
I think they got him for cover.
For a very good reason.
Yeah.
But if you're a James Ward-Prowse, why are you moving for cover? Surely you just do that at West Ham.
I think he has a better shot. Better shot at getting into the first team. Like if he's there's not players signed left and right for his position at Forest. Like I think he sees the value in just having to beat out Elliot Anderson rather than having to beat out 3 guys who have been signed specifically for the new coach, and that's reason enough to move on the final day of the season. I just
how about okay, here's some logic. They've got Chris Wood up front, right? Who didn't like delivering balls into him. And Milenkovic, he's like 6'5" or 6 or something. I don't know.
I feel
I
like
I get your
honestly,
skepticism, and that's why he's 50 for me, not like 30 or 20 or something. Do you know?
I still struggle to see how even if he warrants getting into the team on set pieces alone, there's still two players there who have taken set pieces for that team ahead of him. Like I understand that he's on the day he steps into the training ground, he's a better set piece taker than Gibbs White and Elliot Anderson. It's just difficult for me to see this version of JWP get into the team and take one of those 11 starting spots just for the set pieces.
Yeah, but if he got in like that and played every game and on every set piece, he'd be in, I don't know, he'd be like 20
third rounder. Yeah, third rounder.
So everyone has him as a bit of, we're still hedging back from there. It's, but
but
right.
we've seen
the range of outcomes is large, and I think that's well reflected in the ranks, to be fair.
Yeah, we've seen him come into a very similar situation at West Ham, do really well at the beginning of the season, and then based on his in real life footballing, like non-set piece ability, lose his spot, and that is where I have him. Like,
I think there's an argument either way.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, let's move along. Let's get to game week 4. Those were your ranks. Game week 4 prep. Who are you dropping if they don't start? What do you guys think?
These are more the players that we've been holding and hoping for a start, like your Somervilles, like your Cardiolus, like your Rutters.
Yeah, I see a Lewis Hall shout.
Lewis Halls, yeah.
I dropped him already. I was like, nobody's got time for that. If you're missing out to fucking what's his name, Lloyd Kelly, it's curtains.
Yeah, I picked up Dara O'Shea. If he doesn't start, I'll just drop him. There's just random little streams and pickups. But Somerville, I still keep hold of. But yeah.
Yep.
I mean, All right, I guess we're moving on.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, Sanjay, you're up.
Are we
Streamer
jumping
time.
straight into the streamers?
Apparently.
All right. So I think I wrote about 2 of these guys in my Waiver article. Go read the article if you want the full in-depth analysis. But I believe Njaya's, I'm going to hope he's finally broken into that starting 11. And I kind of like him as an asset. It's a shame. I believe he is a forward, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That's the only downside to all of that. But yeah, you'd think they turn things around. He looks like he likes a bit of a shot as well.
He looked good against Bournemouth in the first 87 minutes.
Yeah, until Everton decided
everybody else
retire. Yeah. Rory's son Liam, I think, is worth a shout as well. After they had those 2 possibly toughest fixtures, maybe barring Arsenal, but I think Ipswich might finally have a bit of bite back in the Premier League. Liam took his goal okay as well. Massive unit. He's getting all the starts, the minutes, playing up top. So I mean, against Brighton, I still think Brighton can be found out. I want to say they just had a good start to the season, but let's see. I do think he's a decent streamer there. Greaves. I mean, I know we talked about the concern of Dara and Greaves kind of butchering each other in terms of ghost point potential, defensive actions, that sort of stuff. But I'm gonna say, if they were going to take a bit more time on betting in Dara, Greaves should still be nailed. He's got massive goal threat on set pieces as well. He's a big unit. So I like him as a streamer. And then finally, Kadioglu against Ipswich. Yeah, I think a few days ago he came out with a tweet saying that he trained with the team. He's looking forward to being part of the setup. And I mean, I love that he's a midfielder as well. So
It actually kind of helps in this season's positional scarcity thing.
Yeah. Is there a wild world? I wonder if there's a manager out there that could potentially start Kadioglu and Estupinan. If they both get the start, we're talking about the left-hand, right-hand combination, or the flexibility of Kadioglu. So, yeah, against a promoted team, it's a safe pick, I want to say. So, yeah, those are my shots.
Very good shouts, Sanjy. Very good.
I don't get the Kadioglu hype. I'm happy to be pleasantly surprised, but I don't see it.
You tell me you didn't watch the one link that everyone has been sending around groups of him scoring this banger?
No, I can't say I did. I mean, if he was a defender, I think he'd be a decent streamer. He still might be a decent streamer. I just don't think that he's going to be much more than that, and a lot of people are saying that he is. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, JPVH.
He's becoming your boy, kinda.
I quite like it.
You've been touting him a fair few times.
I mean, he's putting up the ghost points, so
he's become fairly reliable for some ghosts. So I think he's gonna end up being a streamer, a guy that I pick up and drop like 900 times this season. One of those guys. So yeah, suffice to say, I like him this weekend with Ipswich at home, and defensive streamers are a little, I think, tricky this weekend. Yeah, Jacob Ramsey. I mean, I think we talked about him to death, but with the Bailey injury and him having some pretty good cameos for Villa, I think he gets the nod. And then Everton at home is one of the best fixtures you could have these days. Arsenal left back versus Spurs. I think it's going to be Calafiori.
You think so?
I'm not entirely sure. I think if I knew he was fit, I would be very confident of it being him. I think he's a better defender than Timber and more forceful. And I think if we're playing Spuds away, then probably need a little bit more of that about that bite. So he would probably match up, I think, the best versus Spurs. And then the longer hold again, tantalizing fixtures of Saints and Leicester after Spurs and City, or something you want to try and target. And then you have my boy Victor Christensen, who drops 8 or 9 in his sleep, ghosting very well on some sets. I think Arsenal, notwithstanding, they got a decent schedule upcoming, so I think he's going to be one of my streamers probably for the next couple weeks. Again, barring the Arsenal matchup.
Nice.
Robbo.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell I came in last on this one, but
targeting that Chelsea fixture.
Exactly. That, I mean,
and that City one.
Took the words out of my mouth.
I want to be given some hope. So I'm like thinking about, I love Flecken. I'm not going to drop him, but I was actually thinking about like streaming another goalkeeper, given the City matchup. So,
well, yeah, I mean, the reason I put him in, I mean, he's like 70% rusted, so he's not really a streamer, but someone may have dropped him, right? So look at his scores against City last year and just see how ridiculously large they are. Obviously, it might be a slightly different City team, might be more clinical, but he has so many saves. So there's like a level of upside there. It's a risk, obviously, but
but it's goalies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just Flecken's been lights out.
And he's actually been good.
Flecken. I'd go Flecken.
I've got him as now I think I'll just hold him and like.
Yeah, I have him in every league. I'm holding him for the rest of the season. Yeah.
Whatever Muric was supposed to be.
He still could be. Merch got back to his ways a little bit last week, but yeah, I'd rather have Flecken.
Like,
Well, I
he's
was quite
so
liking Neto, but
unreliable.
then picked up Kepa subsequently, and he obviously did very similar. So yeah, Kepa and Flecken, I'm quite like happy with, to be fair.
I have Raya in 3 leagues, and I'm not happy.
Yeah. And the Leicester keeper,
Could have told you that.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
So I'll remember
Hermanson.
Hermanson, that's it. Yeah.
I want to also say Johnston at Wolves. Decent
Could be.
option.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Sarr actually had some good numbers last year. Anyway, we're talking goalkeepers. It's bullshit, isn't it? So.
I get this Sinistera and Kluivert takes.
Yeah. Have you gone there, Totti? Okay. I'm assuming he's
already made him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, it's a. He came on in the last game after the injury to can't remember, but that was it. Yeah. So potential for him to start again and in that Brighton midfield in a very good matchup. So one of those easy sort of drops if he doesn't start. But yeah, and the two obviously Kluivert doesn't goes too much, but yeah, lots of chance to score against Chelsea. And Sinistera's was lights out in the sub appearance last time. So if he starts, go for it. That's it. Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know if you're saying anything before, Totti.
No, I was just asking your Ayari optimism.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So it comes to me now. I have Tyler Dibling versus Man United. He had an 11.5 cameo last game week without an attacking return is all I'm saying. 33 minutes, 2 key passes, highlighting that monster score, 1 shot on target, 1 tackle, 1 cross, 1 interception, and 3 successful dribbles. Clearly a both sides of the ball kind of player. In Dibling, it is a shot in the dark, but against United, you never know. My second one is Bilal El Khanous, essentially being Leicester's only hope at creativity and attack. Hopefully he gets up to speed by the time we get back from the international break and he actually gets a start. I actually shouted out Sugawara a few game weeks ago in my Sleepers 11. He got a goal, I think, or an assist. Definitely got an attacking return last game week.
It was a goal.
Yeah, it was a goal.
Killed our clean sheets.
And it's United, so anything can happen. And I'm still kind of bullish about Enciso taking over that number 8 / number 10 kind of role.
Sayari's spot, baby.
Yeah. So I think it's actually Enciso who comes in and dictates the tempo from midfield. So I am picking him up for free anywhere I can. And that is it for today. We have actually managed to clock in under 90 minutes, which is pretty decent.
Staggering.
Any last minute questions from the chat to keep us going?
Yes, let's hear. I didn't.
This one isn't a question, but it's definitely something to remind people of. That draft pie mentioned is that Kepa can't play against Chelsea this game week because of the loan issue. So
yeah, that's really annoying.
Bring in Neto or drop Kepa or just.
I think you have to.
Neto's at Arsenal, isn't it?
Oh, sorry.
It'd be Travers, right? Mark
Travers.
No, it's not Travers. It's the.
Oh, he left as well.
He's at Palace, isn't he?
Who is it?
So
Yeah, I can't remember what the guy was.
I'll look it up.
But
do
yeah,
you want to stream?
William
for-
Dennis?
What?
Billy Dennis?
William Dennis. I'm only seeing Kepa, Mark Travers, and William Dennis for Bournemouth.
maybe I read
Stream somebody else.
Yeah, basically.
Oh yeah,
Kepa's
it must be Travers. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis, the Dennis system.
Oh, I have a question. If we don't have one in chat, actually, it's something that I brought up in the pod with Ryan. So Forest is playing Liverpool. Brentford is playing Man City. Which assets from Forest and Brentford are you risking starting against those top teams? Like the only
Forest,
assets that you had to.
From Brentford, I'm definitely starting on Mbomo.
I'm not.
Because Brentford are going to get a goal against City.
But
I'm not.
both games are at Anfield and it's at Etihad, so which makes it even tougher for me. So
What's
that doesn't matter
Etihad?
to you?
It's just like Ghost Town.
I'm only benching him because I have money forwards in that league, but I'm not thrilled about starting him against City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, there's
Forest.
Oh, sorry, go
Forest. I mean, it's obviously MGW.
I was at the same fixture last season, and they looked awful. From the cop, that is. I'd much
Debating
rather,
wood.
I'd much rather start Mbomo and maybe Damsgaard even against City than MGW and Wood against Liverpool.
Would you risk starting Collins? I'm sure some managers must have him, and I don't know.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not.
pretty much. Yeah, if you check the
it's a tricky one.
projections, they're going to be low. So
Yeah, even if it's not going to be a hole for City, it's just not a way of playing, like playing style
just playing
wise.
the percentages. So.
Yeah, just passing it around. There's no actions.
Yeah, there's no defensive action that Collins is going to get and get him ghost points to offset the goals against.
Just saw one question from Fantrax Fox. There was a trade in our league, which I was, anyway, I'll get your thoughts on it. So it was Son for Madison, Ogbene, and Minte.
So Son for Madison and Minte, essentially.
Yeah.
We're Ogbene, man.
Sweet, right? I don't know. Like, I was like, when I initially saw that, I was like, okay, I quite like the three, but
I think it's fine. Like,
yeah,
It's pretty even.
I think either side, yeah.
I mean, if
It
it wasn't
also-
for the midfield dearth, I mean, it would be Son. But that evens it out a bit, I think. But yeah,
Yeah.
Madison, you just know he's going to get injured at some point.
yeah, that's the only
Well, you
thing.
flip
like,
him, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but when
Time
do
it.
you flip?
Well,
Like you got him in.
couple of game weeks.
Yeah, you're probably thinking about trying to flip him in 2 or 3 game weeks. Because it's percentages. Like, the more he stays healthy, like you know what Kane said. The more chances I miss, the more chances that I'm gonna score. So the more Madison keeps staying healthy, the more chance he gets injured.
Yeah. Well, he has his
Kane is-
classic third of a season where he's like lights out, third of the
Yeah.
season injured, and then a third of the season rubbish when he's back. So, yeah.
I don't
think
know
it's-
what, I don't know
anytime
what
before
phase
game
we're
week
in
10.
right now.
I think it's the
He scored well.
Yeah,
but
with
most of it
assists,
is
though.
propped up by attacking returns, isn't it?
Yeah, but his
not ghosting as
expected.
much.
So his points per 90, 6.4, expected points per 90, 5.2. So it's not like crazy over performance.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to a few. I've actually had time to listen to a few like tactics podcasts and everything, and everyone's like, all the optimism has gone out of the window regarding on Ange Bowl, in the sort of
Who
higher
could have seen it coming?
echelons of tactics. So not that there's not going to be goals. Like everyone agrees that the attacking assets and the goals will still flow, but it's more the schoolboy defending and my concern about attacking assets is that actually Postecoglou comes around and says we need to do something about defending, and actually takes one of the attacking midfielders and makes it a bit more solid.
He's doing the opposite of that.
Just who we are, man.
Kulu's playing in the middle with Maddison, right? At times, and they've looked better like that. To be fair. Yeah.
Like I mean, at this point, it's still happening, and it's still all out attack, but it's just like. How is this sustainable?
Yeah.
Got another question. Better cuff Martinelli and Trossard or Doku and Grealish? Yeah.
I think I'd probably go Doku Grealish.
Yeah, I lean Doku or Grealish.
Yeah.
They could also both.
They could play together.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Play together and
They
both
play together.
Yeah.
There's
Martinelli and Tross might, but only this weekend. Basically, this is like the only way that the pieces could fall where they could.
Both Odegaard and Rice out. Martinelli having an off game, but still his style suiting the opposition.
The high line.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'd go Doku Grealish as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it pains me.
That's it. Cool.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's close her down then. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody to chat. Everybody for coming out. Been a good one. Hope we did Joe proud. Thank God we don't have to do ranks for a while again.
For 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
I was gonna say it's not long.
Not doing them. Yeah, not doing them. On that positive note, adios and to the muchachos and the muchachas, and we will see you again next week. Thanks, boys.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Everyone.
Bye.